Suffering from the economy blues? Andy has the answer. Thrift, Rooney style.
Thrifting ain't easy, unless you're watching me. Welcome back. You're watching the Thrift Store Rundown.
Now, a few minutes with Andy Rooney.
In a moment, will we bring Hollywood home?
Now, a few minutes with Andy Rooney.
I said in a moment, on a budget, and you're back in our Throwback Throwdown.
And now, a few minutes with Andy Rooney.
Would you stop? This is where we respect the classics of pop culture, and then some, even if the classics somehow try to turn against us.
Now, a few minutes with Andy Rooney.
Would you stop? Yes, it is time for a few minutes with Andy Rooney. But I'm gonna tell you something. He's on my desk this time. I'm not on his. So nobody start the stopwatch until I say so. You got that? Now that that's out of the way. Through 1,097 commentaries spanning 3 decades and 60 minutes on CBS, Andy Rooney turned the dark and gloomy and light and sunny of everyday life and everything in between into scholastic academia for not just professional and aspiring curmudgeons young and old, but for journalists the world over. It's only fitting that we give him another few minutes to prove his word. Again, considering I reviewed his Common Nonsense book a few years prior. The link is downstairs. For this next Andy Rooney book review, I wanted to be as classic as possible. This compilation of essays, some taken from the 60 Minutes reports, some taken from newspaper columns, some taken from his documentary-length essays, was published in 1981 by Essay Productions and Athenian Publishing, and picked up many years ago from the Thrift Store in Patterson, which is home base, for 75% off $4.99. Additionally, it was meant to be given as a birthday present for the dad of Marianne or Novana, I don't know who this name is, or Roseanne, and Jeff. April 14th, 1982. Dear Dad, hope this puts a smile on your face. I guess he was an Andy Rooney fan. Hope he didn't let him and ask for his autograph, because by now you know his stance on autographs. Not a giver. Which is a shame, but that's Andy Rooney for you. In another book he wrote, he says he doesn't write blurbs for anyone else's books, so he couldn't ask for anyone else to write blurbs for his. So I find it odd we have some rave reviews from his boss, Don Hewitt, his contemporaries Bill Moyer and Robert McNeil, both of PBS, the latter for the McNeil-era NewsHour, and even Barry Goldwater. You need only to look at the contents in here to find out just how diverse his nostalgia and his complaints really are. From belongings such as soap, jeans, and chairs to surroundings like street names and on the house. And a look at ourselves, from an essay on war to youth and telephones and dirty words. But for me, there are a few key essays worth highlighting. This one, ratings. And no, not the TV ratings. I doubt Rooney ever worried about TV ratings. This is rating everything and everyone under the sun on a scale of 1 to 10. If you know me, I rate things 1 to 5, but I'll save that for later. Anyway, Golden Retrievers, 10. General Eisenhower, 10. President Eisenhower, 4. Better general than a president. McNeil-era, 9. And you know Robert McNeil and Jim Lehrer of the PBS NewsHour, back then the McNeil-era NewsHour. Nice to give him a shout-out. Howard Johnson's Peppermint Ice Cream, 9. Charlie's Angels, a 3. Howard Cosell, a 1. You can make your own ratings of everything and anything under the sun. Time Magazine, Disneyland, the Post Office, California, airline food, Star Wars, the list goes on. I should say for the record, Southern California's bravery in the midst of trying times is a solid 10 out of 10. Maybe even more. Next up, an elongated excerpt from Mr. Rooney Goes to Dinner. And this photo right here, featuring a rather dapper than usual Andy Rooney, is just one of 80 black and white photographs inserted throughout these essays. And they're all black and white. They even feature interviews and crosstalk amongst his colleagues, restaurant owners, and other officials and everyday folk throughout these elongated essays. His first essay, an essay on doors, actually winning him an Emmy, even though that essay isn't featured in here. But there's also an essay on war harkening back to his days as a war correspondent for the Stars and Stripes newspaper. This is just a brief commentary on political parties, the pros and cons, and differences between Democrats and Republicans. I'm sorry to highlight this, but it was rather amusing. Which side are you on? Red or blue? Or maybe you're in the middle. Maybe you're in the white column. That would be a liberal, but who's keeping track? And a commentary on dirty words. There are about 490,000 words in the English language. Oh yeah? At the time. I want to see how many words there are if we add stuff from the Urban Dictionary. And we have to do that every year. And the FCC banned 7 words from ever being used on TV. Then again, George Carlin gave the FCC quite a scare using them all at once. Of course, since 60 Minutes and CBS are regulated by the FCC, the only 2 words that Andy Rooney could use occasionally were damn and hell. Not very funny if they're not used in the name of art. If they're used obscenely, then it's show business in the name of money. I think that's pay-per-view. Obscenely and obsessively, I might add. From essays about money to Washington, those 2 dancing like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. From the draft to staying at hotels, I think you get the gist on why Andy Rooney was so universally appealing and universally agitating. We also have rave reviews from Russell Baker of Masterpiece Theater, Jim Lara, Fred Graham, Fred Friendly, Mike Wallace, his 60 Minutes colleague, Charles Osgood, his CBS News colleague, and Gosson Cannon. And at least 1 complaint from Ock Buchwald. That's it. A few minutes with Andy Rooney.
Now, a few minutes with Andy Rooney.
Okay, if anyone says that one more time, I'm gonna slam this book face first on the freaking table.
And you say I'm negative about everything?
4.5 out of 5 claps. Stop the stopwatch. I want to get off and tackle the next review. Although this won't be the last time you hear the master complainer pitch his grievances to the complaint department. Let's throw it forward to Thursday's throwback. I don't know about you, but for me, classic TV commercials are kind of like refined drugs to me. The white ones get me addicted. The worn ones, you don't want to know.
Now, a few minutes with Andy Rooney.
Shut up, bitch!
Thanks for tuning in. Just so you know, there's no limit to bringing Hollywood home on a budget. Please go ahead and check out another awesome review like this one by clicking here, and make sure you subscribe by clicking here. Until next time, I'll catch you, as I always do, on the flip side.